You won't believe why Elon Musk's bodyguard of 15 years was fired. It's a total mess. The winter rain drummed softly against the glass walls of Tesla's private executive offices in Austin. It was supposed to be just another routine day, meetings, quick decisions, Elon Musk disappearing into his endless spiral of ideas and projects. But by the time the sun dipped behind the gray clouds that evening, everything had changed. Eli Navarro had been with Elon for 15 years. Not as an employee, as a shield. Through launches, lawsuits, death threats, scandals, and riots, Eli had been there. Always a step ahead, always silent, always invisible. Musk trusted few people in the world. Eli was one of them. He wasn't just a bodyguard. He was part of Elon's very thin wall between genius and collapse. That afternoon, as the board meeting wrapped up and executives slipped out in expensive suits, Eli stood waiting by the glass door, arms crossed, ever watchful. A figure he didn't recognize approached, a woman in a crisp navy suit, her hair in a severe bun, carrying a slim black folder. She walked past Elon's assistant, through the door without knocking. "Elon Musk," she said evenly, placing the folder down on the long oak table. "This is formal notice. Effective immediately, your executive protection detail will be reassigned." The room froze. Elon, who had been fiddling with his phone, looked up slowly. "What?" he said, voice deceptively calm. The woman didn't flinch. "New security protocols. Internal audit findings. Orders from the board." Before Elon could respond, she nodded to Eli without even looking at him. "Mr. Navarro, you're relieved of your position. Turn over your badge and firearm." For the first time in 15 years, Eli hesitated. Elon stood up now, the chair scraping the floor loudly. "Hold on. Eli isn't just a guard, he's family." "What the hell are you talking about?" The woman's face remained impassive. There were irregularities, unauthorized interventions, possible liability issues. It was absurd. Eli had saved Elon's life more than once, from an obsessive stalker in LA, from a deranged protester outside a SpaceX launch, even once from a rogue drone loaded with explosives. His so-called unauthorized interventions were the reason Elon was still alive. But now, that was being used against him. Eli said nothing. His face, usually unreadable, showed a flicker of emotion, the kind that breaks a man silently, without a word. In slow motion, he reached into his jacket, removed the small silver badge, and placed it on the table next to the black folder. Then, without meeting Elon's eyes, he turned toward the door. "Elijah." Elon's voice stopped him cold. For a second, there was only the sound of the rain outside. "Wait." The woman moved to intercept. "I'm sorry, Mr. Musk, but it's done. He needs to leave the premises immediately." Elon's jaw tensed. His knuckles whitened around the edge of the table. You could feel it, the moment everything shifted. Something inside him snapped. He looked at Eli, truly looked at him, and then something wild sparked in his eyes. Not rage, something deeper. Betrayal, grief, and something terrifying, a plan forming. Because Elon Musk wasn't the kind of man you fired family from. He was the kind of man who fought back. And what Elon did next would leave even the coldest board members speechless. The glass door clicked shut behind Eli Navarro, and the hallway swallowed him whole. Inside, Elon Musk remained standing at the head of the table, his fists clenched, his mind racing. The woman in the navy suit offered a polite, bureaucratic smile, the kind that masked the cruelty of what had just happened. "If you have concerns," she said coolly, sliding a card across the table, "you can take it up with the Executive Oversight Committee." She might as well have handed him a tombstone. Without a word, Elon reached down, picked up the badge Eli had left behind, and stared at it. His reflection warped in the polished silver, 15 years of loyalty reduced to a line in a spreadsheet. "Take it up with the committee," she repeated. But Elon didn't hear her. His mind was already somewhere else. Not fighting with committees. Building something bigger, breaking the entire system that thought it could erase Eli Navarro like he was nothing. Minutes later, while the woman briefed 2 new guards at the lobby checkpoint, Elon vanished into the labyrinth of Tesla's Austin Gigafactory. No entourage. No phone, no warning. 2 hours passed. By the time his executives realized he was missing, he was already in motion. It started with a single tweet, 5 words. No punctuation. "Loyalty matters more than rules." Within minutes, it exploded across the internet. Employees saw it first, then shareholders, then the entire media machine. Speculation ran wild. Was Musk firing the entire board? Was Tesla collapsing? They were wrong, because while the board scrambled to manage the PR fallout, Elon was sitting in a dim corner of a near-abandoned aerospace hangar on the south side of town, a SpaceX satellite development hub no one paid attention to anymore. Waiting for Eli. Eli didn't answer when the Tesla security team called him. He didn't check the news. He sat in a cheap motel off the highway, staring at the badge he'd kept. He felt hollow, not from losing the job, but from the way it had been ripped away. No explanation. No chance to speak. Just erased. A knock came at the door. Eli's instincts kicked in. His hand went to the old pistol tucked under the bed. But when he opened the door, he found a delivery driver, panting from running up the stairs. In his hand was a simple white envelope. For Navarro, the man said, then disappeared. Inside the envelope, a single piece of paper, a printed GPS coordinate. And below it, scrawled in Elon's unmistakable, reckless handwriting, "Come if you still believe in me." The road to the old SpaceX hangar was long and unlit, winding through scrub brush and empty lots. Eli's truck kicked up dust as he pulled up to the skeletal building. Inside, the place was deserted except for one thing: a massive armored vehicle, halfway between a Cybertruck and a military transport, matte black, beastly, and utterly illegal by normal standards. Elon's own secret project. Standing beside it, wearing a black hoodie and a wild grin, was Elon Musk. "You're late," Elon said, tossing him a keycard. Eli caught it without thinking. "What the hell is this?" Eli finally asked, his voice hoarse from disuse. Elon clapped him on the shoulder, the same way you would with a soldier before battle. "This is your new post," Elon said simply. "You're not a bodyguard anymore." Eli frowned. "Then what am I?" Elon's smile widened, a flash of the chaos he kept just beneath the surface. "You're head of something new," he said. "Something they can't fire you from. Something they can't even touch." Eli looked down at the keycard in his hand. No logo. No company name. Just two words printed on it, barely visible under the dim lights. Project Lazarus. Before Eli could speak, Elon pointed to the dark horizon. "They fired you because they thought you were a risk," he said. "But the real risk?" He grinned, eyes gleaming, "is what happens when loyalty fights back." The sound of thunder rolled in the distance, not from the sky, but from deep within the hangar itself. Engines awakening, machines built in secret. And Eli understood then. He hadn't been discarded. He had been freed. Eli Navarro stared at the massive armored vehicle inside the abandoned hangar. Elon Musk stood beside him, tossing a keycard into his hands. "You're not a bodyguard anymore," Elon said. "You're the first operative of something bigger." Eli asked, "What is this?" "Project Lazarus. Built for the day they turned on us." Elon pointed to a stack of folders. Inside, financial records, secret meetings, betrayal maps. Tesla's board wasn't protecting the company. They were selling it out piece by piece. "They fired you because you were the last person who could stop them," Elon said. Eli flipped through photos, board members meeting with competitors, leaking patents, laundering money. It wasn't paranoia. It was happening. Elon laid it out fast. The board planned to force Elon out, break Tesla apart, and profit quietly behind the scenes. "We don't fight this in court," Elon said. "We hit them where it hurts." Eli nodded once. No hesitation. Before sunrise, Eli infiltrated Tesla's Austin Tower. No uniform, no badge. Just the keycard Musk gave him. One by one, he hacked into executive offices, pulling encrypted files, copying damning evidence, bribery trails, offshore accounts, sell-off plans. At 7 a.m. sharp, while executives filtered into the lobby, every screen inside Tesla's headquarters turned black. Then a single message appeared: "Loyalty is not a liability." And below it, a photo, Elon and Eli side by side at the Falcon Heavy launch. Gasps echoed across the building. Phones lit up. Executives panicked. Eli slipped out before anyone could react. Outside, Musk watched from a blacked-out SUV, a grim smile on his face. "This was just the warning shot," he said. The real war was about to begin. By noon, Tesla's board was in chaos. Meetings canceled. Lawyers summoned. Phones buzzing nonstop. They knew the leak was internal. They didn't know how much Elon had. They were about to find out. At exactly 3 p.m., Elon Musk walked onto the stage of Tesla's quarterly earnings live stream. No script, no teleprompter, no advisors. Just Elon, a single microphone, and the weight of what he was about to do. The live stream beamed to millions. The board sat in the front row, smiling tightly, not knowing they were seconds away from humiliation. Elon began without small talk. "Before we talk about earnings," he said, "I have something more important. Trust." Behind him, the screen flickered. First slide. Internal emails showing board members leaking patents to competitors. Second slide, offshore wire transfers from corporate accounts. Third slide, private messages plotting Musk's removal. The audience froze. Investors sat in stunned silence. Comment sections across YouTube and Twitter exploded. Elon didn't stop. He named names. He detailed dates, payments, meetings. Each sentence hit harder than the last. Some board members stood up and tried to leave. Security blocked them. No, Elon said calmly, pointing at them. You'll stay. You owe the people an explanation. The cameras stayed live. No cuts. No censorship. By the end of the broadcast, 3 board members had resigned on air. The SEC opened an immediate investigation. Shareholders rallied behind Elon harder than ever. Tesla's stock, instead of crashing, surged. Elon didn't gloat. He ended the live stream with one line. You can betray me. You can betray the company. But you will never betray the future we're building. Then he walked off the stage without looking back. Waiting for him backstage was Eli Navarro, unseen by the cameras. Musk clapped him on the back. This was just the beginning, he said. The real battle was still ahead. The fallout was instant. Tesla's board cracked open, the media exploded, and politicians tied to the leaks disappeared from public view. Elon didn't celebrate. He moved underground with Eli, setting up a temporary command center inside SpaceX. 2 nights later, Eli slammed a file onto the table. It wasn't just betrayal from within. It was an external attack. A private intelligence group called Kestral had infiltrated Tesla's leadership over a year ago, disguised as advisors and consultants. Their mission wasn't just sabotage, it was elimination. Funded by foreign investors, operating through offshore accounts, with one goal: destroy Musk's influence across energy, aerospace, and AI permanently. Eli broke it down fast. Discredit Elon through fake leaks, collapse Tesla's board, isolate him legally, and finally force him out or destroy him entirely. They had already started the first phases. Only Project Lazarus and Eli's intervention had exposed them early. Musk stared at the files: bank transfers, travel logs, intercepted emails. Names he once trusted now connected to Kestral. This wasn't business. It was war. Elon stood, pacing the room. They fired my guard, tried to gut my company, and now they're aiming higher. He turned to Eli, voice razor sharp. We hit them first. No more defense. No more waiting. Eli nodded. There would be no warning. No mercy. The next move would be fast, violent, and absolute. Kestral had made one mistake. They underestimated Elon Musk. Now they would watch everything they built burn. The plan was brutal in its simplicity. Elon and Eli knew that Kestral thrived in the shadows, so they dragged them into the light. At 4 a.m., using a network of loyal engineers, hackers, and ex-military contacts, they launched Operation Lazarus Phase 2. Private files, contracts, secret payments, and recordings of high-level meetings were dumped into the public domain all at once. No leaks. No warnings. Everything exposed in one catastrophic blast. News agencies scrambled. Governments panicked. Investors abandoned Kestral's puppet corporations in hours. Names that had been untouchable were now radioactive. Within 12 hours, Kestral's entire network began to implode. Lawsuits, subpoenas, and criminal charges fell like missiles. Key operatives fled the country. Some were arrested trying to board private jets. Others simply disappeared. Tesla's stock didn't crash. It soared. SpaceX landed 3 new government contracts in a single afternoon. The message was clear. Musk wasn't just still standing. He was stronger than ever. Eli stayed in the shadows, watching the chaos unfold, ready to act if needed, but he never had to. Musk didn't gloat. He didn't post memes. He didn't even make a speech. Instead, he made one quiet move that sent an even bigger message. He personally rehired Eli Navarro, gave him a new title, Chief of Special Operations, and built a security division inside Tesla and SpaceX that reported to no one but Elon himself. Loyalty wasn't a weakness. It was the reason Musk had survived. One evening, long after the media storm faded, Elon and Eli stood on the roof of the SpaceX headquarters, looking out over the city lights. No words were needed. They had both seen how quickly the world could turn. But now they also knew, no matter how powerful the enemy, loyalty would always be stronger. A storm had come. They hadn't just survived it. They owned it.